You're such an asshole.
Alright, last video for the day. Maybe I'll get back and do one tonight. Hi Aaron, I have a question about property ownership. I know you hate long ones, so I try to lay this out as neatly as I could. I'm 23 years old and make around $60,000 in Chicago. I have $45K saved up, but $30,000 of it is in retirement accounts. I have $17,000 in student loans, and I'm aggressively paying that off. I currently live with my parents rent-free, but I'm itching to move out. I have no car and no desire to buy one. I have been internally struggling with the rent-buy dichotomy for years, and this has ramped up recently due to my desire to move out. Although I consider myself financially savvy, I have zero experience or knowledge in real estate. I've had an interest in living in Marina City since it is close to downtown in the financial district and is relatively cheaper compared to other places around the area with more square footage. To give you an idea of what I'm looking for, I'm posting an example of links. I know these are sold out, but here are some examples. Pros, $200,000 to $250,000 doesn't seem that much for owning a piece of property in downtown Chicago, 20-minute walk to work. That's the biggest selling point you've made to me so far. I know people who lived in Chicago, and there's a stretch on the north side where there's these very nice houses that were built in the 90s. You could tell by the architecture. They're all for sale. And the reason is the property taxes are so egregious in Chicago, it's not worth owning them anymore. Now, all that being said, people got to live somewhere. And the fact you say it's a 20-minute walk to work, now maybe possibly. What you need to do, I'm being deadly serious about this, is you need to figure out what the property taxes are on that property, and you need to look at what has happened to property taxes over the past 10 years to Chicago. And then ask yourself, do you want to get into a contract with the city of Chicago? And that contract is you're on the hook for all the property taxes. They could decide to take a broken glass dildo and shove it up your ass with. Okay? If you had a good solid career and you know you're going to be there for, I think you said 10 to 15 years, and you're not going to, maybe at best, but you don't buy a property in a communist city or a communist country for them. It doesn't matter if it's a city or a country. Chicago's pretty darn communist. You don't own your property in that city. Not at all. And what can happen, I can't guarantee it will happen, what can happen, you buy the property, your property taxes are $200 a month, and this happened to me in Minneapolis, it went up 400%. All of a sudden now it's, in your case, it go to $2,000 a month. Now you own a liability. You let the city have the property. I don't think that's going to happen. Chicago has remained very vibrant. There's a lot of economic production that occurs there, but can you stay living at home with your parents? I honestly, the only thing that I think moving downtown would allow you to do is a increase in quality of life that you not have to commute. You could walk. That is about the only plus that would even have me tempting to think that maybe you should buy property. But you need to do a full financial analysis on these properties and see what you're on the hook for insurance and for especially property taxes. Since this isn't a house, I won't have to shell out for things like repairs. Well, yeah, you do. It's called the HOA. Look at the HOA, too. Here's another thing. Is there a percent of these properties? If you're buying a condo, is there a percent of them that has to go to low-income housing? Are you going to have, bad currency drives out good? I mean, do you got to worry about a Cabrini Green forming up again? That's another thing I'd look at. This is not a slam dunk by any means. And I can't give you the answer. I'm just telling you to look out for things. Since this isn't a house, I won't have to shell out for things like repairs. That's what those assessment fees are for, right? Yeah. I mean, you pay for the repairs no matter what. Potential price appreciation, of course, not guaranteed. Cons. Chicago is a liberal shithole. Assessment fees and taxes look high. I hate debt. No rental income. But this is not a duplex or anything like that. Additional factors. I watched a video made in 2015 where you said the rental income you received did not significantly help pay off the mortgage. It did help me significantly pay off the mortgage. My rental income did. Are there any factors I'm not considering here? My questions are, how much of a down payment should I put down if I decide to go through with it? Ideally, if you can save up 20%, then you don't have to pay mortgage insurance. What advantages will I have with a credit score of 750? You'll have the lowest interest rate possible. What if I commit to take on a mortgage and something happens where I don't want to live there anymore in the middle of paying it off? Then you got to sell it. Any tips on starting a business and getting the girls? No. I would obviously love to have rental income, but I would be much more comfortable by means of owning real estate investment trusts due to lower liquidity risk, fewer management headaches, smoother cash flows, and lower transaction costs. Would you agree? I agree. Blah, 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 boo, 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 BDB. I had some questions. I have not traveled the country. I've read Reconnaissance Man, but I've watched your video, Top 10 Cities in America, where you surprisingly had Chicago on the list, which pushes me towards staying there. The only other city on the list is Vegas. I most certainly expect to be living in Chicago for the next 10 to 15 years due to my job area and connections. I don't think you're ready to buy. Honestly, I don't. You ask questions that like a rookie noob would. You need to do a lot more research, and you also have too much debt. You have $17,000 in student loan debt. You live with your parents rent-free. I should have asked you how long your commute is. If your commute is 20 minutes or whatever, dude, stay with your parents. I hate to say, it doesn't matter what you like. It's what's in your best interests. I would stay living with your parents, honestly. I'd pay off your student loans. And then I'd start working up money so you can afford 20% down. But here's the thing. If your commute right now is an hour, then it might be worth it. It might be worth going and living in Chicago. But honestly, here's another thing you got to do. Dude, you got to get out of Chicago and explore around. You need to do a lot more research. One, to find out whether or not you want to move somewhere else. Two, to see like what property is available, what the property taxes are going to be. Is this we have a certain percentage stuff for lower income? No, I worked hard. I used to be lower income. And I was 1 in 10 that said no. This is a choice. And I'm getting out of it. And then the 9 in 10. Oh, I'm impressed. Give me. You don't mind if I bash the sheetrock in a drunken haze because I did PCP? Yeah, you're not ready to buy a house, in my opinion, or a condo. You need to do a lot more research. You need to get your finances in better order, and you need to just suck it up and just stay with your folks. If your commute was an hour one way, then I'd say, okay, maybe it's worth it, because the time savings alone would be worth it. But you could find relatively affordable housing in Chicago. I know Chad Elkin lives there, and they do have really good public transportation, so you don't need to live downtown Chicago. I mean, ideally you could, yeah, if you can be in walking distance. But no, man, you want to be a renter, not an owner in Chicago. That's just pretty much what I've seen. So, all right, wish I could have given you a more definitive answer, but you got more research and homework to do. Links down below. See you guys later. Toodles.